Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing a deep dive into Sleep Smarter by Shawn Stevenson, a
Yeah.
book that you specifically requested.
Excellent choice.
And I have to say, after kind of previewing it,
Right.
I'm thinking of adding Sleep Guru to Shawn's already pretty impressive bio. There's some seriously cool stuff in here.
There is.
But lucky for us, we have an expert on hand
Yes.
to help us unpack it all. So
Sleep is one of those things, we all know it's important,
it is.
but we treat it like a side quest in life.
Right?
This book is about bringing sleep front and center.
Yeah, it goes beyond just the basics. I mean, everyone knows you're supposed to get 8 hours, right?
Right.
But Shawn really dives into like how sleep is practically anabolic. Like
Yeah.
we're literally rebuilding our bodies during those hours.
It's true. It's not just rest.
Yeah.
It's active regeneration. Think of your immune system getting a tune-up, muscles and bones getting patched up, all while you're catching Z's. That's why they call it beauty rest. It's not just about looking better. It's about your whole system functioning better.
Yeah. So for you, this could mean fewer sniffles during cold season, that energy boost you've been craving, and maybe even hitting those personal best records at the gym.
That's right.
But there's a part in the book that kind of blew my mind. It talks about how sleep deprivation actually lowers the amount of glucose that your brain gets by like 6% after just one all-nighter.
That's right. And if you think about it from like an evolutionary perspective,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Our hunter-gatherer ancestors couldn't afford to be foggy-headed.
Right.
They needed every bit of brain power to survive.
So those late-night sugar cravings,
Oh, yeah.
maybe they're not just bad habits, but our body's literally trying to keep the brain online.
That's right. Fascinating, isn't it? But here's something else that surprised me. The book talks about how more sunlight during the day actually leads to better sleep at night.
Yeah, that seemed counterintuitive to me at first, too. Isn't sunlight supposed to wake us up? Like, what if my job keeps me inside most of the day? Am I doomed to bad sleep?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It's about your circadian rhythm, that internal clock we all have.
Mm-hmm.
Morning sunlight is particularly key.
Okay.
It triggers like this cascade of effects,
Right.
starting with the production of serotonin, which then converts to melatonin later on.
Okay.
You can think of morning sunlight like setting your sleep cycle alarm clock, but in a good way.
Okay. So it's not just about like the total amount of light, but when you get it,
Yes.
sunlight in the AM helps set the stage for melatonin production.
That's right.
Later, which then signals to your body it's time to wind down.
That's right.
But then there's cortisol, the stress hormone, to factor in. Right.
Exactly. Cortisol is like our internal get up and go signal, naturally highest in the morning and tapering off towards evening. But things get messy when our circadian rhythm is thrown off. And you know what one of the biggest culprits is these days?
Let me guess. Screens.
Bingo. That blue light emitted from our phones, laptops, even TVs. It tricks our brains into thinking it's still daytime,
Oh, no.
suppressing melatonin production. The book cites a study where people who read on iPads before bed
Oh.
took longer to fall asleep, got less REM sleep, and felt more groggy the next day, even when they got a full 8 hours.
Oh, okay. I'm officially spooked. I'm definitely a pre-bed scroller.
Yeah.
I'm seeing those blackout curtains and blue light filters in a whole new light now.
Right.
Pun intended.
Pun intended.
But what about that afternoon slump?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us, we reach for caffeine to power through, but this book seems to advocate for like a caffeine curfew.
Yes.
Does that mean my afternoon latte is sabotaging my sleep?
It might be. Caffeine can linger in your system for up to 6 hours, so that afternoon pick-me-up could be affecting your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep.
Okay.
What's fascinating is that people in one study actually lost an hour of sleep because of caffeine, but they didn't even feel sleep deprived.
Oh, wow. So you might think you're getting enough sleep, but your body is silently suffering the consequences.
Yes.
And then the next day you reach for even more caffeine
Right.
to compensate. And it just creates this nasty cycle.
It's a trap many of us fall into. And it highlights how crucial it is to be mindful of our caffeine intake, especially in the hours leading up to bedtime.
The book also mentions temperature being a big factor in sleep quality.
Yeah, we've all experienced that, tossing and turning on a hot night or waking up shivering in a cold room.
It's true.
But is there like a sweet spot for temperature that actually helps us sleep better?
There is. Think about how our body temperature naturally dips as we get ready for sleep.
Right.
It's like an internal signal that it's time to wind down.
Okay.
The book recommends aiming for a bedroom temperature around 60 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
So a cool room actually like promotes sleepiness.
It does.
That explains why I always sleep so well when I'm camping in the mountains.
Oh, I bet.
But what if you share a bed with someone who prefers, like, a different temperature?
Oh, yeah.
Any tips for finding a compromise? Communication is key, of course.
Yeah?
But there are also some practical solutions, like using separate blankets
Okay.
or even adjustable mattress pads that allow for personalized temperature control.
I didn't know those existed.
They do.
That's very cool.
Yeah, they're pretty neat.
Okay, so temperature check. What else does the book recommend for creating that perfect sleep environment?
Well, remember how we talked about how our brains create associations?
Yes.
The book suggests transforming your bedroom into a sleep sanctuary,
Okay.
a space solely dedicated to rest and relaxation.
Okay.
No work, no screens, just pure blissful sleep.
I love that idea. It's about creating that mental separation between work life and sleep life.
That's right.
But honestly, I'm guilty of answering emails in bed sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like my brain never gets a break.
And that can be a recipe for sleep problems.
Right.
Remember, we want to train our brains to associate the bedroom with relaxation and sleep,
Okay.
not stress and deadlines.
So it's about creating that Pavlovian response for sleep.
Exactly.
Okay. But how do we actually turn our bedrooms into sleep sanctuaries? Like any practical tips?
The book suggests simple things like adding plants to purify the air,
Okay.
using blackout curtains to block out light, and incorporating calming sounds like white noise or nature sounds.
Ooh, I can practically feel the stress melting away already.
Right.
A room filled with plants and the soothing sounds of nature. Who wouldn't sleep well in that environment?
Right. It's about creating this multi-sensory experience that promotes relaxation and signals to your body that it's time to unwind.
And speaking of unwinding, there's a chapter in the book that caught my eye,
Okay.
and it's a bit suggestive. It's called The Big O.
Ah, yes. The connection between sex and sleep.
Yes. The book talks about how orgasm releases a flood of sleep-inducing hormones like oxytocin and prolactin. It's like a natural sleep cocktail.
It really is. And what's fascinating is that the relationship goes both ways.
Oh.
Good sleep can lead to better sex,
Yeah.
and better sex can lead to better sleep.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win situation.
So it's not just a postcoital drowsiness. There's actual science behind it.
There is.
But what about, like, those of us who are single or in a sexless relationship?
Sure.
Can we still reap the benefits of those sleep-inducing hormones?
Absolutely. There are other ways to boost oxytocin and prolactin naturally,
Okay.
such as cuddling, petting a furry friend, or even listening to calming music.
Okay.
It's about finding those activities that bring you joy and promote a sense of connection and relaxation.
Okay, so prioritizing intimacy and affection in whatever form works for you
Yes.
can contribute to better sleep.
Noted.
Noted. But the book also mentions that sleep deprivation can negatively impact testosterone levels in men,
That's right.
which can lead to, like, a whole host of issues.
That's right. Testosterone plays a crucial role in muscle growth, energy levels, and libido.
Okay.
When we're sleep deprived, testosterone production takes a hit,
Right.
which can lead to fatigue, weight gain, and even erectile dysfunction.
So guys, if you're struggling with any of these issues, it might be worth taking a closer look at your sleep habits. Prioritizing sleep could be the key to boosting your testosterone levels naturally.
It's true.
But switching gears a bit, the book also talks about darkness being crucial for good sleep.
Yes,
And this is where it gets really interesting.
it does.
So we all know that light can disrupt sleep,
Right.
but the book dives into, like, the science behind it. It turns out our skin actually has photoreceptors that can see light even when our eyes are closed.
It's true. It's wild.
Wait, seriously, our skin can sense light. That's wild. So even those tiny LEDs on our electronics or that sliver of light peeking through the curtains could be messing with our sleep.
Exactly. And it all comes back to melatonin.
Okay.
Even small amounts of light can suppress melatonin production,
Right.
making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep.
So blackout curtains are non-negotiable.
Pretty much.
And maybe it's time to finally ditch those electronic devices in the bedroom. But what about those of us who enjoy reading before bed? Is that a no-no too?
Not necessarily. The book actually encourages reading before bed, but suggests opting for a physical book rather than an e-reader.
Okay, so it's the blue light that's the problem.
Exactly.
So real books, real sleep. Got it. But we've been talking a lot about external factors, like light and temperature. What about the internal stuff?
Like what?
Does the book address things like stress or diet?
Absolutely. In fact, the book dedicates a whole chapter to the fascinating link between gut health and sleep.
Wait, what? My gut affects my sleep. I thought we were done with the surprising connections.
It might sound strange,
Yeah,
but the research is clear. You see, our gut is home to trillions of bacteria, collectively known as the gut microbiome.
right.
And these bacteria play a crucial role in, well, pretty much everything, including sleep.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me more about this gut-sleep connection.
Remember serotonin,
Hmm.
that mood-boosting neurotransmitter that's also a precursor to melatonin?
Right. We talked about how sunlight triggers serotonin production.
Well, get this, 95% of the body's serotonin is actually produced in the gut.
No way. So my gut is like a serotonin factory.
Pretty much.
Who knew?
It's pretty amazing. And it highlights how important gut health is for sleep.
Okay.
When our gut microbiome is balanced, meaning we have a healthy ratio of good and bad bacteria,
Hmm.
it supports not only digestion,
Okay.
but also sleep.
So what happens when our gut microbiome is out of whack? Like, how does that affect sleep?
Well, when those bad bacteria start to take over, it can lead to inflammation throughout the body,
Oh,
including the brain.
right.
And inflammation can disrupt sleep in a number of ways.
So it's not just about what we eat affecting our waistlines. It's also about what we eat affecting our sleep.
Yep.
But how do we even know if our gut microbiome is balanced? Should we all be getting fancy gut tests?
While those tests can be helpful, there are simpler ways to get a sense of your gut health. Pay attention to your digestion. Do you experience regular bloating, gas, or constipation?
Uh-oh.
These could be signs that your gut microbiome is out of balance.
Okay, so gut health check. But let's talk about solutions. How can we improve our gut health to support better sleep?
The book emphasizes the importance of nourishing our gut with whole, unprocessed foods,
Okay.
particularly those rich in prebiotics and probiotics.
Okay. Like what? Give us some examples.
Think fiber-rich fruits and veggies, fermented foods like yogurt and sauerkraut,
Mm-hmm.
and even bone broth.
So it's about feeding those good bacteria
Oh, that's right.
and starving the bad ones.
Exactly.
Makes sense. But what about exercise?
Oh, yeah.
Does that play a role in gut health and sleep?
Absolutely. Exercise has been shown to improve gut motility,
Okay.
which is essentially how well things move through your digestive system.
Right.
And better gut motility means less bloating,
Okay.
less constipation, and ultimately better sleep.
So moving our bodies helps move things along in our gut, which then helps us sleep better.
That's right.
It's like a chain reaction.
It is.
But the book also suggests that the timing of our workouts can impact sleep quality.
That's right. Morning workouts seem to be the most beneficial for sleep.
Why is that?
It goes back to our circadian rhythm and cortisol. Exercise in the morning helps regulate that natural cortisol rise and fall,
Okay.
setting the stage for better sleep later on.
Interesting. So if I hit the gym first thing in the morning, I'm essentially prepping my body for a good night's rest.
Exactly.
But I'm a night owl. Does that mean I'm doomed to bad sleep?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
While morning workouts are ideal, the most important thing is to find a time that works for you and stick to a consistent routine.
So consistency is key, regardless of when you exercise.
That's right.
Okay, but what about those of us who are dealing with sleep-related pain?
Sure.
We talked earlier about mattresses and sleep positions,
Right.
but sometimes pain can be like a major roadblock to good sleep, regardless of how well we set up our sleep environment.
Absolutely. Chronic pain can be incredibly disruptive to sleep. The book emphasizes the importance of addressing any underlying pain issues with your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional.
So if you're dealing with pain, don't just tough it out and hope for the best.
Right.
Seek professional help to get to the root of the problem.
Exactly.
But what about those racing thoughts that keep us awake at night?
Oh, I know those.
We all experience that mental chatter from time to time, but how do we calm those thoughts and prepare our minds for sleep?
The book suggests a few techniques.
Okay.
One is journaling. If you find yourself lying awake with a to-do list running through your head, jot those thoughts down to get them out of your mind and onto paper.
It's like a mental decluttering before bed.
That's right.
Love that idea.
Another technique is mindfulness meditation.
Right.
Even a few minutes of focusing on your breath and observing your thoughts without judgment
Okay.
can help calm your mind and prepare you for sleep.
So it's about creating that sense of stillness and presence, rather than getting caught up in those mental loops. But what if meditation just isn't your thing?
Right.
Are there any other options for quieting the mind before bed?
The book suggests practicing gratitude.
Okay.
Take a few moments to reflect on what you're thankful for, no matter how big or small.
Right.
Focusing on the positive can shift your mindset from worry to appreciation,
Okay.
promoting a sense of peace and contentment.
Okay, so journaling, meditation, gratitude, these
Yes.
are all great tools for calming those racing thoughts.
That's right.
But the book also emphasizes the importance of using supplements wisely.
It does. While there are many sleep supplements on the market, the book stresses that they should be viewed as a complement to healthy lifestyle choices,
Okay.
not a replacement for them.
So no popping a melatonin pill and calling it a night.
Exactly. It's about addressing those foundational elements first, the
Okay.
sleep environment,
Hmm.
our habits, our overall health, and then considering supplements cautiously and respectfully.
You can't out-supplement a poor lifestyle.
Yep.
But what about those situations where our sleep is temporarily disrupted?
Sure.
Like after traveling across time zones or experiencing a stressful event?
Yeah.
Are there any supplements that can help bridge the gap?
The book suggests that natural sleep aids might be helpful for short-term use in these situations.
Great.
Things like magnesium, valerian root, or chamomile tea.
Okay.
These can promote relaxation and help reset your sleep pattern.
So if you're jet lagged
Right.
or your sleep is temporarily out of whack,
Mm,
a natural sleep aid might be a useful tool.
it could be.
But for chronic sleep issues,
Yeah,
it's crucial to look at those underlying lifestyle factors.
absolutely. It's about treating the root cause, not just masking the symptoms.
Speaking of treating the root cause, the book also mentions the importance of addressing sleep-related pain. We talked earlier about spinal alignment and mattresses, but it seems like pain can be a major obstacle to good sleep, regardless of how well we set up our sleep environment.
It's a significant issue. The book points out that if you're waking up in pain, it doesn't matter how many hours you've logged in bed, you're still going to feel exhausted.
And it's not just about back pain.
Correct. Sleep-related pain can manifest in various ways, from headaches and neck stiffness to hip and shoulder pain. And the book suggests exploring different sleep positions to find one that minimizes pressure points and promotes proper spinal alignment.
So it's about experimenting and finding what works best for your body. But what if you've tried all the usual remedies and you're still struggling with sleep? The book suggests considering body work as a potential solution.
Yes, we've touched on massage earlier.
Right.
But there are other forms of body work that can be beneficial for sleep,
Okay.
such as acupuncture and chiropractic care.
Okay.
Body work can help release tension, improve circulation, and promote relaxation, all of which can contribute to better sleep.
So it's another tool in the sleep toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious about this technique the book mentions called gut smashing. It sounds a bit intense.
It's actually quite gentle.
Okay.
The book recommends using a plastic ball to gently massage the abdominal muscles before bed to help downregulate the nervous system.
So you're literally massaging your way to better sleep. I'm definitely intrigued.
It's another example of how bodywork can have a positive impact on our sleep,
Yeah.
but it's not just about what we do to our bodies, it's also about what we put on our bodies.
Right. The book talks about the importance of choosing the right sleep attire.
It does.
What should we be wearing or not wearing to bed?
The book emphasizes the importance of comfortable, loose-fitting clothing made from breathable, hypoallergenic fabrics.
Okay.
Tight clothing can restrict blood flow and lymphatic drainage,
Right.
which can lead to discomfort and sleep disruption.
So ditch the tight pajamas and opt for something loose and comfy.
That's right.
But what about socks? I love wearing fuzzy socks to bed, but the book seems to advise against it. Why is that?
Wearing tight socks to bed can hinder circulation
Okay.
and prevent your body from properly regulating its temperature. Remember, our core body temperature naturally drops as we fall asleep, and tight socks can interfere with that process.
So it's best to let those tootsies breathe.
That's right.
But speaking of breathing, the book also mentions a technique called grounding, which involves connecting with the Earth's energy for better sleep. This one sounds a bit out there, but I'm open to anything that might help me sleep better.
It might sound a bit woo-woo, but there's actually some interesting science behind it. The Earth's surface is a natural source of free electrons, which can have antioxidant effects on the body. When we're in direct contact with the Earth,
Okay.
either by walking barefoot
Yeah.
or using grounding products,
Okay.
our bodies can absorb these electrons.
And what do these electrons do? How do they help with sleep?
They act as antioxidants, neutralizing harmful free radicals in the body. Free radicals contribute to inflammation, which, as we've discussed, can interfere with sleep. Studies have shown that grounding can reduce cortisol levels, improve sleep quality, reduce pain, and lower stress.
Okay, so grounding is like an all-natural antioxidant boost that helps reduce inflammation and promote relaxation. But how do we actually practice grounding? Do we all need to be sleeping outside on the bare ground?
While sleeping outdoors can be a great way to connect with nature, there are easier ways to practice grounding. Walking barefoot on grass or soil for even a few minutes a day can be beneficial. You can also use grounding products like earthing mats or sheets which connect to the ground wire of your electrical outlet.
So if you're not a fan of getting your feet dirty,
Right.
there are indoor options. I'm definitely intrigued by this whole grounding thing. It's amazing how many different factors can influence our sleep,
I know.
from our gut health to our sunlight exposure to even the Earth's energy.
It's all connected. And it highlights the importance of taking a holistic approach to sleep,
Right.
considering both our internal and external environment to create the optimal conditions for restful sleep.
I feel like this deep dive has given me a whole new perspective on sleep. It's not just about the hours I spend in bed. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports this essential human need. But what about waking up? Does the book offer any advice on how to start our days off right?
It suggests that being an early riser is key to better sleep. Waking up early, ideally with the sunrise, can help entrain your body's natural sleep-wake cycle.
We touched on this earlier when we talked about the circadian rhythm,
Right.
but I'm still curious why waking up early is so beneficial for sleep.
It helps regulate your cortisol rhythm.
Okay.
Remember, cortisol naturally rises in the morning to give us energy for the day. By waking up early, you're reinforcing this natural pattern.
So instead of hitting the snooze button and disrupting that cortisol surge, I should be embracing the morning light and letting my body's natural rhythm take over. But I'm not a morning person. Any tips for making the transition to becoming an early riser?
Start gradually. Don't try to go from night owl to early bird overnight. Start by shifting your bedtime and wake-up time by 15-minute increments each day
Okay.
until you reach your desired schedule.
Okay. So, baby steps.
Yeah,
No need to shock the system.
exactly.
But the book emphasizes that waking up early can lead to better sleep the following night.
That's right.
How does that work?
It's all about establishing that consistent rhythm. When you wake up early, you're more likely to feel tired earlier in the evening, making it easier to fall asleep at a reasonable hour.
It's like a domino effect.
It is.
One healthy habit leads to another.
Precisely.
It seems like we've covered just about everything from Sleep Smarter.
We have. It's been quite a journey through the world of sleep.
It has. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
You know, as we've explored this book, I've been struck by how Shawn Stevenson really emphasizes viewing sleep as an investment, not just a necessity.
That's a great way to put it. It's not just about logging hours.
Right.
It's about optimizing those hours for maximum benefit.
Exactly. He even quotes a neurologist, Dr. Kulreet who says, timing your sleep is as important as timing your investments. The best time to invest in your sleep is between 10:00 p.m. and 2:00 a.m.
Wow.
This is when your body is doing the most crucial restorative work, releasing key hormones for repair and rejuvenation.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not just about getting 7 to 9 hours. It's about making sure some of those hours fall within that prime time window.
Exactly.
But realistically, with work schedules and other obligations, it's not always possible to hit that window perfectly.
Right.
Any tips for those of us who can't always stick to an ideal sleep schedule?
Consistency is still key.
Okay.
Even if you can't always sleep between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., try to maintain a regular sleep-wake rhythm as much as possible. Your
Yeah.
body thrives on routine,
Okay.
and even small adjustments can make a difference.
So small changes, consistency, and maybe setting a slightly earlier bedtime alarm than I'm used to.
There you go.
But before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more topic that really resonated with me. The book talks about how sleep affects our weight, and it's not just about late-night snacking.
Oh yeah, it gets much deeper than that.
Okay.
Excess body fat can actually disrupt our hormone balance,
Right?
leading to elevated cortisol levels,
Oh.
which we know messes with sleep.
It's like a vicious cycle. You don't sleep well, so you might crave unhealthy foods, leading to weight gain, which then further disrupts your sleep.
It is a vicious cycle.
Oh, man.
The book highlights a study where overweight individuals had a whopping 51% increase in cortisol after a meal,
What?
compared to just 5% in those with a healthy weight. That's huge. And chronically high cortisol is linked to all sorts of problems, not just sleep issues.
So weight management isn't just about fitting into our favorite jeans. It's a crucial part of overall health and sleep hygiene, too.
Absolutely.
But this book doesn't just focus on the problems. It offers solutions. What does Sleep Smarter recommend for breaking this cycle?
It emphasizes that even small amounts of weight loss can make a significant difference in sleep quality.
Okay.
A Johns Hopkins study found that losing weight, especially belly fat,
Hmm.
led to notable improvements in sleep.
So there's hope.
There is.
It's not an all-or-nothing thing. Every step towards a healthier weight can have positive ripple effects on our sleep.
I agree.
This deep dive has definitely been eye-opening.
I'm glad.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of the importance of sleep and all the factors that influence it.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And the best part is that we have the power to make positive changes.
We do.
We're not just passive victims of our sleep patterns. We can actively shape them.
You got it.
Exactly. And Shawn Stevenson leaves us with this inspiring thought. He says, sleep is the secret sauce. The human body is brilliantly designed to utilize sleep to improve virtually every function that you have.
I love that quote.
I love that too. It's a powerful reminder that sleep isn't a luxury, it's a fundamental need, and it's within our reach to optimize it. So to all our listeners out there, I encourage you to take what you've learned from this deep dive and implement even just one small change tonight.
It's a great idea.
Consider it an experiment. Turn off your phone an hour earlier, take a warm bath, try a few minutes of meditation, or simply reflect on what you're grateful for.
Yeah, why not?
Observe the difference it makes, not just in your sleep, but in your overall well-being. You might be surprised by the ripple effects of prioritizing this often neglected aspect of our lives.
Sleep is powerful. Sweet dreams.
And thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Sleep Smarter. We'll catch you on the next one.